world. The weather outside is not that cold, and if you take my hand, I'll walk with you to Georgia.
What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to a new season of Country with Celine, season 4. Can't believe it already, crazy. Episode 1, and on today's episode, I'm so happy to announce my friend is joining the show today, one of my really good friends, and he's a Canadian musician and songwriter from Milton, Ontario. Now he's living the dream in Nashville, Tennessee, where we all want to be. All of that rhymed, and I did not intend for that to happen, but it worked out great. Please welcome Joey DePaiva. Joey, how are you doing today?
Good, thanks for having me. Happy to be here. Season 4, best one yet.
Season 4, best one yet. Honestly, I can't believe time has been flying by. And it's 50 episodes per season. So this is 151. Dang.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of talking. That's a lot of
I
talking.
didn't even well, yeah.
It's yeah, I honestly I think I might have missed some too. I think maybe the first season I didn't do 50. I think I did a little bit more. But anyways, regardless, welcome. Happy to have you on. First time on Country with Celine. You excited?
Yeah, my first podcast.
Wait, first podcast ever?
Yeah,
Oh, dang. Wow. Okay.
yep.
So then we got to make this the best podcast then.
Yeah, we need some like confetti
Yeah,
and
we need maybe I'll like add an effect in woof with
yeah,
like the
yeah,
confetti.
explosion.
Or just tell Ben, because Ben Chase is your roommate. He's also a singer-songwriter and a musician. Tell him to come in and pop some confetti. Just text him, be like, hey, come
Yeah.
do this for me, please.
No, it's okay. I don't really want to clean up the mess.
That is fair. That is fair. All right. Well, you know what? First things first, I really want to chat about this because I saw you post it today. So you play,
Yes.
yeah. So you play in the band with Vincent Mason. You're the bass player. You just announced today that you're going to be touring with Jordan Davis come
Hmm.
September. How excited? We're gonna talk about like how you ended up getting here, but like how excited are you for that?
Yeah, it still kind of hasn't really even hit me yet. Well, first things first, I didn't announce it. They announced it. I just shared it.
Okay, fair
I,
enough.
I
Same
don't,
thing. I
I
saw it
don't,
on your
I don't have
Instagram.
I don't have the power to be announcing stuff like that. But yeah, it's still kind of crazy. Like, I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but like we're playing in Toronto this summer, so like my mind is still on the Toronto show. So I can't even like, I don't know, I still can't even get myself past that to the fall with this Jordan Davis thing. And yeah, we're gonna play some crazy bucket list venues like Red Rocks and Radio City Music Hall, and yeah, it's kind of crazy to still, I don't know, feel like I've known about it for a while. We just haven't been able to say anything. Like even some of my best friends, they have no idea. But yeah, it still kind of doesn't feel real, or I haven't comprehended it that much yet. But I don't know. As the weeks get closer and more stuff happens, it's kind of like a train. It's just like you can't stop it, but you're like,
You don't
oh,
want it
we're
to
getting closer.
stop.
We're getting yeah, no, we're getting closer and closer, but it still doesn't feel like it's reality, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's so surreal. And you just moved to Nashville, what, over a year ago now?
Yeah,
So it
January
hasn't,
2024.
yeah, so it hasn't even really been that long. And think about how far you've come. Like you're playing Broadway, like when you
Hmm.
first got there, like every single musician, that's where they all start out. And then you pick up gigs along the way. You were playing with Baby Jake. I said it
Hmm.
correctly. I don't know why I thought Snake on that one, but Baby Jake you were playing with, and now Vincent Mason, and now you get to open up for even Riley Green, Parker
Yep.
McCollum. You're going on tour with Jordan Davis. Like you're living the dream. It's what you've always wanted to do, and now you actually are doing it.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling um because it's like there's stuff that I've always dreamed of or always wished I could do, and like it's starting to become something I'm going to do or have done. And it's weird because it's like on one hand it doesn't, you're like, what the, like how is this even possible? Or like this doesn't, I never thought I could do this. But then on the exact other side, it's like, no, I always thought I could do this. It was just a matter of when.
Yeah.
So it's weird, that like weird kind of middle ground that I'm in, where it's like, I don't know. It's just a very weird feeling of this is always what I thought, but I never thought it would happen. Kind of, it's kind
Yeah.
of
No, it
like I
makes
always thought it would
sense.
happen, but I didn't at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. Because everyone has big dreams, right? And
Hmm.
sometimes they feel like they're unachievable, like you can't actually get there. But when you do, it's like, whoa, how did this happen? But I'll tell you how it happened. You worked your butt off and you
Yeah.
were in the right place at the right time and everything just fell into place. I mean, when you're ready, doors will open up for you and you just got to walk through it. And now you're living the beginning. It's not even like this isn't even like the climax of it. This is just the beginning. This is the tip of getting into like following your dreams and actually
Hmm.
getting to go on tour because you're only in your 20s and there's so much life ahead of you still, especially when it comes to music. People get their start when they're like 36 years old. And like
Hmm.
so you're still on like the tip of it. And this is just the taste of like what's to come.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I think the thing now is like, I've wanted to strive to work towards play, like doing a gig that I have now. And now, like, the next goal or the next thing to kind of strive for is just longevity,
Mhm.
being able to do this for a long time and repeatedly doing it. And I don't know, like, for example, like going back to some venues when you were like, as back in the fall last year, with Jake, we did venues, and now going back again with Vincent and playing the bigger room,
Yeah.
or or going to this venue as a opener, and now you get to go play with the headline act. Like that's the next kind of, I guess, phase of the dream is just climbing up and keep and staying there, um not getting too comfortable or anything like that. And
Well,
just always working towards something else.
yeah, you always have to be working towards something else. And now I would assume one of your big goals, especially living in Nashville, would be to play the Grand Ole Opry, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that would be a dream come true. I feel like for all musicians and singers, like everybody in the country industry, that is a goal of theirs because that's the start of it all.
Yeah, like um growing up, like up until college, I really didn't listen to country music that much. My grandparents did. Like that's all they listened to, specifically my grandpa. And like we lived with them growing up, so it was always familiar to me. It was just never anything I really listened to. Um, so yeah, like I always think of the Opry of like if and when I get there, like that'll be a huge thing for my grandpa. I wish he was still alive to like kind of be here for it, but I always kind of think of that like that would be a big thing for him. He would be proud and he would have loved to see that. And yeah, and like also too, I came down here. I've been coming down like and visiting and just making friends and stuff for years before I moved. And like my first trip, I kind of just did all the touristy stuff. Went and seen the Hall of Fame and the Ryman, and I did the Opry and did the Opry tour, and like everybody knows the
Yes.
Circle.
Yep.
Um, and like right at the end of the tour, you can go on the stage and you can step in the circle and get your picture. And so I have a picture of me on the stage, but I refused to step in the circle. Like they were like, "Oh, you can do it if you want." And I was like, "No, no, I'm good." Like, no, they're like, "It's okay." I said, "No, I'm not going to step in here until I'm invited to play here." So I always kind of think of that moment too, of like, I can't wait to finally
To play.
walk across that barrier or whatever, and I don't know, stay true to that person. I was like, yeah, I'm not. It's not my time to step there yet, but one day it will be. Hopefully, hopefully
That
soon.
that's like the Stanley Cup. It's a
Yeah,
curse. You don't want to touch it until your team wins it. Then
yeah,
you just curse it
exactly.
completely. But I'm sure at the pace you're going at, it's all gonna happen probably sooner than you think. And going back on your grandpa, he's definitely gonna be there to watch that just from a different realm, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but he'll still be there cheering you on and he'll be so proud of that. And how did so when you were talking about they listen to country music and you
Mhm.
were around that, but then it wasn't until college when you started to listen to it. Like, who was the artist that you started to listen to, and you're like, you know what, I'm actually enjoying country music. I kind of want to pursue a career in this.
I don't know. I had like in college, I went to school for music, and it was mostly like jazz based. which wasn't really my favorite. Um, and the one playing class we had that wasn't full on jazz was country. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll do this because it's better than playing jazz.
Mhm.
And I got into that. My teacher liked me, like I did the work, and he kind of took me under his wing. Was like, if you want, if you want to be successful or you want to do this, like, do take this advice, kind of thing. And um, yeah, just gave me advice on like how to be employable and all that. And but I don't know if there was really one big like epiphany moment. Um, but I do remember like the first couple country tunes we learned in that class were Liza Jane by Vince Gill. Um, we did some Shania Twain, um, Dixie Chicks, that kind of like the early 90s stuff. Um, yeah, and that's when I started getting into it. I remember like going on my lunch breaks and driving down the street to like the used CD store and buying some of these CDs and Brad Paisley too.
Yeah.
Just kind of getting my feet wet with that kind of stuff, and then through that I kind of went all over the place, all the modern stuff, which is funny. Like a lot of the first country gigs I did, well, I was learning songs for like John Party, Jordan Davis, um, who else? Like people now that I'm sort of in the circle or we get
Yeah.
to interact with or open up for. It's kind of weird in that way. Like another weird thing where it's like I remember playing Singles You Up every
Yeah.
country bar gig we did, and now we're gonna
Yeah.
now it's gonna be seeing it literally
Yep. All the
like
time.
backstage. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool how the world works. It's so full circle. It really is.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so wait, I want to ask you this question too. When it comes to the bass, like what gravitated you towards playing bass? I mean, it could have been any instrument.
It was really luck. I can send you a picture,
Oh gosh,
but
okay.
there's a picture of me when I was little, like maybe three, maybe four max. I always loved music. My grandpa that we lived with, he's from the East Coast, so they'd always have like kitchen parties, and people would just be playing the accordion or the guitar,
So
harmonica, and I
yeah.
always loved it. And they would just sit me in the middle of them, and they'd put a guitar that I couldn't even play, like it was 10 times bigger than my body, and they'd put me around it, and I would just like strum,
That's so
pretending I
cute.
was part of it. But it's funny when you watch the videos, like I'm strumming along like perfectly in time, like it clearly was something that was in me, like, but I just had it. So anyways, I always loved music. Like from the youngest age, I'd put on little concerts on my little toy box and get everybody to come watch, and then just I loved music in school. I remember going to like choir competitions and
Mm.
stuff, and it was always my favorite. But then as I grew older, my dad, I mean, it wasn't just him, put me in hockey, and I loved hockey, and he wanted me to play hockey, so I ended up playing hockey, and I loved that. And then um, I don't know what grade I was in. It must have been around grade 6 or 7. I remember Guitar Hero came out,
Oh my gosh, yes.
and I was like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, I want to play this game. And then that eventually led to, I want to get back into playing guitar. And in middle school, grade 7, they, music class, they didn't have guitar, they had bass. So they're like, you can play bass if you want. And I was like, ah, sure, I'll learn it. It's close enough, and I'll learn guitar later. And then just always stuck with bass. Like I picked up guitar along the way, but yeah, bass has always been the number one since then.
Is it very similar to a guitar or is it somewhat different? How
Yes and
similar?
no. Like the four strings are the same as what they would be on a guitar. Guitar just has two more. Um,
You find it
but I mean,
harder? Is it harder to play bass?
um, yes and no. Like
Guess it just
I
depends
don't
on the
know.
musician if you know how to play it or not, but
Yeah, and there's different nuances and different just different stuff that apply to one that don't to the other. So they're completely different. There's similarities, but
yeah.
yeah.
Well, you were chatting just briefly before about how like full circle everything is. You used to play singles you up at the bar, and now you're going on tour with Jordan Davis, and like
Mhm.
John Party, Parker McCollum. When you say these big names, now you're actually you're living in Nashville, so you are surrounded by them, but B, you're a musician and you're in the industry too. So it's not like you're just living there and they're living there and you're just kind of there
Yeah.
with each other. It's actually you're in the industry with them. So has there been somebody that you've met so far and you're like, oh my God, this is crazy. I used to either listen to your stuff or just like that moment when you meet a celebrity or an artist and you're just like taken back by it. I can't believe it's happening.
Um, yeah, I think probably just like not any that I've like actually met and hung out with kind of thing. Um, but there's just it's it's kind of weird like like I said, the people that I grew up or like came up playing their songs. Um, now that we're playing shows with them, like John Party we did back in February. No, I think it's February. And then the Jordan Davis thing, and then like in July we're gonna play some shows with Luke Bryant. Um, it's just like stuff like that where it's like these people for the longest time felt like so superstar untouchable, like it's just people you'll never even come close to. And now you're playing shows with them. It's kind of weird.
I'm so happy for you, honestly. Like this is just so because I remember our conversations before, even when you first started to move, like when you first moved to Nashville, because I moved to Vancouver, so we are both like
Hmm.
nervous about it, like what should we expect, and we're both following our dreams, and now it's like happening, and it's just like it's so nice for like me to see for you, like it's just like
Yeah.
finally like it's all coming together, and I get to go to these shows now and see you on stage. I cannot wait. I literally cannot
Yeah.
wait. Like Stagecoach, please. I hope by the time this is posted, I have media credential for it and I get to go and watch you on that stage because that would be sick. Like that is one of my best friends up there. Like
Oh,
crazy.
you just you just brought something up. So like Stagecoach, obviously everybody wants to play that. Um, but like I guess in one like oh moment where it's like this is crazy, is this real? Was on the day we're playing Stagecoach for whatever reason, like the Backstreet Boys are playing the
So
like after
sick.
party, and like those like I mentioned like the toy box concerts they used to put on, like it was always Backstreet Boys. I would always get my mom introducing Joey singing the Backstreet Boys. It was always like that is one of the first musical memories I remember in my life is the Backstreet Boys. So it's funny that how it works out that we're playing that day. So like that, obviously I'm not playing with them or anything, but
No, it
it's
still
kind of a
count.
full circle thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing the same day. It's at Stagecoach. You're playing Stagecoach, and you grew up with that experience. Like, of course, it's gonna be so full circle. Oh my gosh, that's
Hmm.
cool. That's really cool. Well, you're also playing CMA Fest too, and that's the
Hmm.
beginning of June, and you're playing throughout that whole weekend, as we were talking prior to this interview. So you're gonna be very busy for that.
Yeah, that I think those like 2 weeks are going to be kind of crazy because I believe I believe that the weekend before is our first run with Riley Green. I think it's one of the first. So we're going to be in like northern the states, like Ohio and Michigan, and I'm just kind of planning it out now. But I think I'm going to be able to go from our Michigan show in Detroit and then go back home for the CMAOs
Yeah.
on the Sunday this year because luckily I'm nominated for Musician of the Year. So it'll be nice to go home and attend that and see all my friends and stuff, and then quick rip back here, and then CMA week's gonna be busy, but it'll be cool because this will be like my first official like like CMA actual thing. Last year I played down here for some like played here during CMA week last week or last year,
Yeah.
but it wasn't official CMA events.
Yeah. Well, now you're playing an official CMA event on the Chevy
Hmm.
stage. So
Yeah.
you're gonna be busy that week though. Dang. Riley
Yep.
Green, go home for the CMAOs. Because yes, I was gonna mention that, which you beat me to it. So thanks for that. But yeah, musician of the year. that must have, when you found out the news of that, like, didn't it feel good?
Yeah, absolutely. Like it was last Thursday, I think the news came out, and I honestly kind of got tipped off a little bit because they needed some clarification on something on my
Oh,
application form. So they emailed me 2 days before, and they're like, "Hey, there was something missing on your thing. We need it for the ballot." So I kind of knew, but
that's
I
okay.
don't know. It's nice when it got like the official confirmation and getting to see my name up there with. I think my favorite part about that is like getting to see my name up there with people that I've all played gigs with or that I'm friends with. Like it's such a community, especially in Ontario. Everybody knows each other. Everybody
Hmm.
is there to support each other. So like, yeah, I'd love to win, but I obviously know that everybody else in that category is well deserving and great at what they do. So they're there for a reason.
Yeah. Well, they're all talented, right? Like every single musician or singer, song, whoever it is, if you get nominated, clearly there's something there and you're very talented. But Joey, you've worked your ass off, okay? So you
Yeah, thanks.
deserve A to be there and B to take it home. Just putting that out there. Probably shouldn't say that, but I'm gonna say it anyways because it's true. But
You might be a little biased, but
might be slightly biased, a little bit biased. Not really. It's true. I'm being serious. But anyways, okay. Actually, since we were talking about Ontario, you're from Milton, Ontario.
yep.
You moved to Nashville last year, January. Just talk about how that move was. You don't have to get into specifics about the visa and all that because that is another podcast for another day. But just talk about how was that transition? You're with your hometown, your family, your friends, then you moved to Nashville. Obviously, you still have friends here, but it's not family. It's just it is different.
Mm. Yeah. Um, I'm weird in the sense where I don't really miss things that often, or like if I'm somewhere that I want to be or whatever, I kind of just I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's definitely times when you miss home and stuff, but I also got to remind myself that I'm down here doing what I want and chasing something. So there's a
Hmm.
bigger picture to it. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like I love home, but being at home wouldn't give me the opportunities that I would being down here. So there's a trade-off, but I feel like I kind of sold myself on the sacrifice or what being down here entails a long time ago, and I haven't really thought about it since. So
Would you
yeah.
move there like long term? Like, do you plan on staying in Nashville long term, or would you ever end up moving back home, or you're just kind of gonna go with the wind and see where it takes you?
Um, I think right now, mind space I'm at is like here is home. Um, but things change all the time. Like who knows, 5 years from now, this could be not fun for me anymore. There's not a reason for me to stay or whatever. So, um, I don't know. I've kind of always, even since I started picking it up and playing more proper professional, like I knew the States was kind of where you got to go to be at the top of the game or
Yeah,
where I want to be. So I don't know. I kind of feel like this is where I'll be for long term, but
yeah.
anything can change.
Yeah, anything can change, but I will kind of go off of that point. The States, there's just so much more opportunity down there than up in Canada. I feel like for any
Hmm.
industry, honestly, especially the entertainment industry, there's so
Hmm.
much more job opportunity down there. And there's, yes, we have a big country music scene up here, but it doesn't compare to the scene down in the States. I mean, you have almost every province. There's the country music scene is huge. Maybe not New York, maybe not like a province like yeah, a state like that, but
Hmm.
like Tennessee, even California, I would say Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Kentucky, like there's just so many places where country music is so big and you'll always have a career in country music down in the States, regardless of where
Yeah.
you're living.
Yeah. I think it's just like there's way more people here and it's
Yeah.
easier to travel a lot of places quicker.
Yep.
Like you said, like you could be in a state you could tour down just one state here and hit 10, 15 places. Back home, you're in like Manitoba, you're playing Winnipeg and
Where else?
I don't know what
Yeah,
else.
I don't know.
Like,
There's nothing else in Manitoba, just Winnipeg.
yeah,
Like
like
there's
yeah,
nowhere. Yeah.
it's just sucks that Canada's so hard to travel to or like travel across and
Mm-hmm.
less people to entertain.
Yep. Yeah, it really it sucks like that. I mean, like even Saskatchewan, you have Saskatoon, maybe they'd play a show, and in Regina. Where else are you
Hmm.
gonna go in Saskatchewan to play a show? Those are like the only
Yeah.
two places that you're gonna go. Um,
Hmm.
but anyways, so from Ontario, living in Nashville, you're a Leafs fan, and you're living in
Yes,
Preds territory.
unfortunately.
Unfortunate, haha, unfortunate. Fair enough. You're living in Preds territory. How's that been like?
I don't, the only yeah, the only thing I've loved more than music or like longer than music is the Leafs. Like
Die hard Leafs fan.
it's not done me well,
You should
but
show
I
your
mean
guitar.
here
You should,
yeah,
yeah,
I
show
was
your
gonna say
face. Yeah. Like this is
usually I don't
wild. Die hard. Die
yeah,
hard Leafs fan.
yeah. So yeah, I'll be playing this most of the year, so I'll travel the world with me, but um
That's so funny.
yeah, I mean the Preds are not good this year, which is crazy considering all the off-season acquisitions they did, but I don't know. This town kind of annoys me in the sense of hockey because it's like nobody really cares. They all
Mm.
just it's like a fun thing to do, and
But the games are fun, man. They're
they
so
love
fun.
yelling the goalie's name and stuff. But then they don't know what an offside is. Like for the most part, I'm generalizing here, but
Yeah, fair
yeah.
enough. I can see that. Ben was telling me that somebody thought, oh, I don't even know, it sounded so stupid. Something about a power play and a 5-on-3, and they thought it was like a 4 minute. I don't know, something weird. And I was like, I can't wrap my head around what they were even trying to think. But it was just so interesting sometimes to hear what people, because they go there, yeah, to party and to drink and to have fun. Some people know
Hmm.
it, of course, but like there's also a good chunk that don't. But anyways,
The
Joey, is
one thing
this
I do love about them though is they have bands play during the intermission. And I got to
mm,
play that last year, and that was cool.
yeah, of course.
Technically my first arena that I played, but
Hey, write that on the
um,
resume. It's true. It still
yeah,
counts. Still
I got
counts.
pictures to prove it.
You do. Okay, big question though. Like this is a
Yeah,
huge question. Joey, is this the year?
I don't know. If you asked me like earlier in the year, I would have said they look pretty good. They're sitting on top of the Atlantic right now, but I don't know. They haven't.
Mm.
There's something that still hasn't clicked yet. Matthews is not looking like he's starting to get better, but they just don't look. I don't know. They don't look as lethal as years before.
Well, we
You
shall
never
see.
know.
You never know.
I do know that I'll be watching every single game on my phone before any set we play, and
Yep, on the stand.
my
The
mood
game.
will my mood will be heavily affected by the outcome of the game.
Oh, yeah, you're not wrong. I am in the
Yeah,
group chat with all of you. It's all believers, all us Leaf fans. We're all in that same
yeah.
group chat. So when the
That
mood
group
is
chat is just me talking to myself most of the
you
time,
and
but
Evan, it's you and
yeah,
Evan. Then Cody chimes in from every now and then. But
yeah,
yeah. Well, anyways, Joey, thanks so much for hopping on Country with Celine. It was so nice to, even though we're going to talk after this podcast is done too, but it was nice to formally have a podcast to chat with you on Country with Celine, get you involved in my world, I guess I can say. You have quite the year ahead of you, and I cannot wait to see all the places that you still have yet to go.
yeah. It's gonna be crazy.
Gonna be great. Well,
It's
thanks.
one for the books.
One for the books, for sure. Well, thanks again, Joey. Nice chatting with you.
No problem. Thanks for having me. First podcast.
First podcast and first episode of season 4.